Hello and welcome to Domi Tries This. I hope you brought your cuppa. If this look and this coffee mug look familiar, they should. They are from my BoxyCharm unboxing in January. And the coffee mug says, my cup of tea. The tea happens to be the same too. It's the David's Tea Organic Cold 911 Soothing Minty Relief Tea. I actually am already in love with this tea. That is just, I didn't have the heart to change teas. I would normally change teas and I just didn't. I liked it too much. Very, very good. Anyway, as you can tell, today is a sample queen day. And for once, I actually have makeup samples for you rather than, you know, all the skincare that's so easy to get on the net. You can get little itty bitty samples of skincare all the time. Makeup? Nope. Good luck. You gotta buy one. But I do have some samples. Most that I bought, one or two that came in kind of free. Or for shipping only. So, and a couple of them are full sizes. So we're going to go ahead and get into that. Just be aware of a couple of things. One, I do not have all the products here. I believe I gave one of the lipsticks to one of my kids and I used up one of them and for some reason just didn't keep the little bottle, and I should have. And two, it is later in the evening and my husband will probably be going into our kitchen very soon to cook. So if there's some noises in the background from in the kitchen, that's what's going on. He's getting ready to feed us. Love my husband's cooking. Love my husband's cooking. Anyway, with all that said, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I have is from a brand that I believe started last year or the year before. They are called Indigo. And I ordered a liquid lipstick and they sent me a matte lipstick with it. The matte lipstick I cannot locate, so I think that it probably went to one of my kids. I did like the color. However, it was a matte lipstick, and as we all know, just you have to take my criticisms with a grain of salt because I do not like mattes at all. I always have to put some sort of gloss or something over them so I get a little bit of movement on my lips. But this one was really, really dry. It didn't, I didn't get much color, and what I did get on was very patchy. Decided not to keep it mostly because I'm not going to fight to get my lipstick on my lips, unfortunately. If she comes up with a cream formula or a satin formula, I might try those. But in terms of the mattes of her regular lipsticks, I just wasn't very happy with it. The other one that I purchased is her matte liquid lip. This one is in the color Lola Lee. It has a lovely pigmentation for the most part, but it too was a bit patchy on application. The color, I believe, was a little bit darker than what I expected, but it's a nice berry. It dries down pretty quickly, but also even when you, it dries down pretty quickly, but even when you apply another layer to try to clear up the patchiness, it dries down fairly patchy. At least on my lips, it seems to be doing fairly well on my hand at the moment. Well, you can see it's a little lighter along these edges and darker in there. It stays in place even when a gloss is applied over it, so it should stay in place pretty well, but it also means that I have to work fast if I want it to play well with others. I do like the doe foot on this. It's got that nice slant with a slight curve in it without being overly, you know, crescent mooned in the curve. Let's do it this way. It'll be easier. So I like the doe foot. I do like the way it applies. I do like the fact that I can get a gloss to work on it. Do like their packaging. The packaging is really nice. It looks really sharp. It's just the color itself was kind of, like I said, very patchy, and it is very matte and it dries down very, very quickly. You can see it's starting to really dry down along the edges while it's still kind of wet up in here. Don't think I would buy another matte lipstick from her. I would be willing to try something a little more on the satin or glossy side. Yeah, these were just too dry, and this one was really they were both really patchy, so I hope that they can get that to work a little bit better. And the pricing wasn't bad, as I recall. I'll have to look it up, and I will put down links below and make sure to list the prices down there. But overall, it's okay. I think you can find other mattes that would apply with less patchiness, and yeah, just the color is gorgeous. I will admit that, and I'm willing to keep it and work with it, and at least the gloss will work over it to make me happy. It's more the patchiness that's more of an issue for me than anything. So this next product is a sample, and I do think I got this completely for free. I didn't have to pay any shipping or anything on it, I don't think. And that's the Kate McNabb mascara. The brush on this one as a sample is really, really small, but the bristles are one I like. The formula is really, really wet, though, I've noticed. The color is nice. It lengthens a little, but it doesn't really thicken. It does give a slight curl. Is nice on the lower lash line, but takes about 4 or more coats to get to the nice, thick, long lashes that I prefer. Nice for a more natural look, I think, but having to build it up all the time was a bit of a pain, and it caused some issues that I'll mention in just a minute. When I put on the Grape Lash to try it as a base, I realized that the Kate McNabb reminds me of that Great Lash. It's just much wetter than that is. This is a really, really wet mascara. It does do better over the Great Lash, but still needs a few coats to get my lashes where I like them. Every time I've worn this, and this is where the problem of having to layer it up comes in, every time I've worn this, I've noticed that I've had some flaking into my eyes. And it actually happens really very quickly. And they hurt. They hurt a lot. They mess up my eyes. My eyes hate it. It's not a mascara for me. It is too wet. It's too much work. It flakes into my eyes, which tends to have enough issues without this adding to them. I cannot say that I would recommend it. Don't remember what the price on this was. This sample is going to get thrown out. I'm not going to use it. I used it once this year and several times last year, and it's just not a mascara for me. Especially with the flaking, it just hurts too much. And like I said, I have enough problems with my eyes without this adding to it. Okay, so the next samples that I am going to talk about is one that's also missing some packaging. I got this in a little sample set. It cost me about $10. It came with, these are the tiniest samples in the universe. I'm going to tell you guys, I was really, really surprised. Hi, here's some samples. But it came with 2 little eyeshadows, a little lipstick, an illuminator, and some makeup remover. The makeup remover is the one I don't have the package for. I used it up. It works. It was very comfortable for me to use with my baby wipes, and it takes everything off for the most part, but it's $22, so there's no way I would purchase that again. I do need things that do make it easier to get stuff off my eyes, because as I just mentioned, my eyes do have their issues, and I do need to be gentle and careful with them. So I can't have anything that's supposed to remove makeup that I have to rub too hard. Fortunately, this makeup remover, I added it to my baby wipe, put it on, and it took everything off. But it is kind of pricey for the product, and I think I can get something. I can actually get my Pearlosophy for $30 and probably get more uses out of it than out of their little makeup remover. So yeah, it worked. And if you're interested in their products, I would say that it's something that you could consider buying, because it worked and it was gentle and I didn't get any stinging and everything came off and all of that. It's just a price thing for me. It's a little much. But everything else I do have. And we're going to start with the eyeshadows. I have the shades Purple Sage, which is going next to this. And you will see part of the problem. I'm having to do this more. And the color Bentonite Clay. which I don't know if you'll even be able to see on my skin. But there they are. Yeah, you can't even see the bentonite clay. And as you can see, they're somewhat patchy. They do show up amazingly well considering how they swatch. There is a lot of kickback. The fallout not as bad. There's decent pigmentation when used over an eye primer on my eyes. However, and you knew that was coming, right? It's not holy cow pigmentation. I did have trouble with lighter color that didn't show up as well. Probably a skin tone thing. The darker matte is a touch patchy. It takes a little bit more work. They both take a little bit more work than I'm actually really willing to put into my cosmetics on my face. I already have enough problems. I don't need to be rubbing at my eyes trying to get this stuff to work. They both also faded pretty quickly, so they disappeared. They have these little 4-pan eyeshadow sets that you can get that are about $40, which would make these about $10 a piece. They also have singles that are $20 a piece, $25 a piece. In my opinion, they're not worth that. Not with the way you have to build them up, not with the way they fade. They are not that kind of quality of eyeshadow. And I don't know if you pronounce that make or make, but whatever. Yeah, was not impressed with these. Would not recommend them, especially for those prices. So the next thing they gave me was this teeny tiny itty bitty lipstick. And I get it. And at least it was in a tube, because I've gotten lipstick samples before where they just put them in a little, you know, something similar to this, but smaller. And so you have to use your finger or a brush to get it out of there. So it was kind of nice that it put it in a tube. However, the color of this is all wrong for me. And it is really, really sheer. I wore it probably once, maybe twice. This was my least favorite. It's very smooth and creamy and all that, but without the pigmentation, I mean, seriously, just isn't worth my time, really. Again, I didn't look up the price on this, and I probably should have. But if their eyeshadows are $25 a piece, you can imagine what their lipsticks are. Again, not worth it, not worth my time. This is, yeah, I'm not impressed at all. Again, this was my least favorite thing in the whole set. Considering how I didn't really like the eyeshadows that much, this is pretty bad. The final thing they sent me was their Skin Illuminator. It's kind of a highlight. It's got a nice consistency, so you need very little of it. It's kind of on the thick side, and I probably just put on enough to like completely annihilate my hand. So there it is. You can see it's not really, it's not dripping or anything, and it blends out to a nice sheer glow. So there, it's kind of a peachy color, and you can barely see it on my skin, which is fine, because I honestly think that this is just to get, it's like I said, it's an illuminator. It is kind of a highlighting color, but it is not meant to be, whoa, you can see me from space kind of highlighting color. It does give a nice glow. It's not too bright. It's not too much of a liquid. I am not really a liquid highlighter girl, but this is okay. I'm considering keeping it and going ahead and continuing to use it. It's a beautiful color. Like I said, it just gives you a nice sheen. Again, however, I don't think that it would be worth the price. I'd have to, again, look it up. I was really surprised at the eyeshadows, and I think I got shell-shocked and decided not to go back. This is okay. Like I said, I'm considering keeping it, going to see if I can use it up, but other than that, probably not worth the price. You can find other glowy, and see, it's all dried down now. There's a slight tackiness, but it's all dried down, and you get that nice glow. I think you could probably find something that does exactly the same thing for a lot less. And that's going to be the big theme for most of the Make samples. Overall, you know, I could probably put this in my foundation if I wanted a bit of a glowy look too. So overall, the samples were okay. Not some of the best I've tried. Not some of the worst, but the brand is pretty expensive, and I don't think what I tried lives up to the price, if that makes sense. I wouldn't even recommend getting the sample set, which is only 10 bucks. Yes, you could if you really wanted to see how they worked on your skin. I've gotten stuff to work that other YouTubers have said that they can't get to work for them. So a lot of that is very dependent on your process and the products you use underneath and stuff like that. So you might get those eyeshadows to work and think they're worth $25 each. I'm just not there. I'm going to spend $25. I'm going to spend it on, you know, a palette that I can almost be sure that's going to work for me, and not on a single eyeshadow. So that was my make, make, however you pronounce it. That was that little kit that I ordered. Like I said, it was $10. I do believe the little kit is still available if you're interested. Can't remember if I also had to pay shipping on that or not. I don't think I did. But anyway, so the last two items I have for you came from the Preen.me campaign, and that is the Charlotte Tilbury, well, one of her matte lipsticks and the matching pencil. This lipstick is a Legendary Queen. I'm actually wearing it underneath my Tarte, the glossy lip paint. This is a really beautiful color. I was really surprised about the color and how much I liked it. It's on a pinkier side than I thought it was initially, and on my skin it comes off just a little touch on the orange end of pink, but it's a beautiful, beautiful color. It goes on very smoothly. It has lots of pigmentation. It is a little bit dry, so I do have to put a gloss over it. It is a matte. The pencil, this is the Lip Cheat Reshape and Resize Lip Liner in the color Walk of Shame. I'm also wearing this today around my edges, and then I went over it with something else, but it pretty much matches the lipstick. Very creamy, very smooth, does a really nice job of lining and, you know, defining my lips when I'm wearing this color. I really enjoyed both of these. I do recommend them. I don't know what the price is. Unfortunately, probably really expensive considering it's Charlotte Tilbury. I really appreciate Preen.me letting me use these. I had already posted about it on my Instagram, but here I wanted to give the official review, and I really, really do enjoy them and like them. If I ever come into money, I would be more than willing to buy more of her products because these were really, really nice. Anyway, that's it for our sample queen today. I hope you like what you've seen and that you will come back again. And if you're not subscribed, I hope you will subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. And if you're part of my notification squad, oh yes, you must indeed go ahead and check your bell just in case. And yeah, that's about it. If you don't subscribe, we will be really disappointed, but you are always welcome to come back again. And when you do come back again, don't forget to bring your cup of tea. Okay, so this is a tea that definitely does better hot. As it's cooling off, it's getting more of a I want to say bitter, but that's not it. It's getting kind of a aftertaste that I'm not particularly liking. So it's definitely much better as a hot tea, but it is otherwise a very good tea. Not every hot tea works cold. Just that's the way it is. Anyway, I hope you all have a good evening. We'll talk to you later.